What's up, everybody? Hopefully you all been enjoying the RLCS preparation, getting into the gritty RLCS nonsense now that it's back in full swing. But we still got Q&A videos to do. We got 4 questions or 5 questions on the line for you, and they honestly vary all over the place. And the last one's pretty ranty, so hopefully you guys are ready for it. Let's jump into Q&A number 25. What's up, everybody? Hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. Make sure you guys hit subscribe, like the video if you enjoy it. But we've got 5 questions from y'all that we're going to be doing today. First one comes from Alex D. It says, with Power creating a new NA squad, what do you think about the potential in the RLCS? Also, do you think it was the right decision to acquire Forky, Mile, Epic Johnny rather than True Neutral? I think first and foremost, that's not always how things work. I do think that a lot of these conversations for like contracts and signings and everything, they happen months in advance. There's a ongoing process, and I can tell you specifically, there's like one team in Europe who talked to like 3 or 4 different organizations, and almost all of them fell through. So again, you just never know how things are going to go. I do think Power, with being the organization that they are, have been making this move, and I don't know how much of it is, hey, we want to get the best team, or hey, we want to be able to grow and develop and content creation and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of different factors that go into picking up a team, and it's not always results. And I think that alludes to my answer about their potential. I've looked at this team, and I know Forky's a big topic of conversation, and we all know he's super mechanically good, but his play style has glaring issues. And based upon the way that he approaches the game and rotations and stuff, I hope now that they are a dedicated team with backing and chances to go into the RLCS, they pick up a coach that can sit down and be like, bruh, you gotta stop chasing. You gotta stop cutting you gotta stop doing these things because you're over the rest of your team. And this has been 3 teams you've done this with. And I get there's a bunch of Forky stands out there, and I understand why. Whether his streams are controversial or otherwise, or entertaining or whatever it may be, when it's talking about his individual play, clearly he's talented. Clearly he has the ability to play at a very high level. But when it comes to a team game, it is a team effort. And that's why I don't like giving out individual, these are my best players in RLCS, because it is a team effort to go and get that done. I think the talent will be around him. As of right now with the roster, the way that it is now with Forky, Mile, and Epic Johnny, I don't have expectations. I think that's how bad it's going to go. I do not expect them to make top 16. I don't think it's going to be a thing. There's too many good team-based rosters to make top 16 with this roster. And that's not me discrediting them. That is just me giving more credit to all the other rosters. There's no shade in that. It's just RLCS is well sought after. It's a $6 million prize pool. Spots are limited. On the other side of things, there is the assumption that Aqua, one of the most popular up-and-coming players alongside Daniel and Oski, who's 14 right now, is also one of, and supposedly the sub, that will end up replacing what we assume is Epic Johnny when the time comes. Forky, Mile, and Aqua, I think there's a ton of potential on that team. I think without a doubt, there's a ton of talent that can push them into top 16. But as of right now, until we get into the winter split, I can't see this team being successful. I hope the experiences that they get against other high-profile teams, whether it be through qualifiers or otherwise, are going to help mold and shape them into a better roster. So when winter does roll around, you start seeing them clap some kids, because at the end of the day, I'm always rooting for parity. I'm always rooting for the best story. I'm always rooting for the underdogs and the unique circumstances. As much as I love watching BDS clap kids, as much as I love watching Ground Zero clap kids, if there's a team I've never heard of come in and they just start dominating people, sign me the hell up. I think it's amazing. So ultimately, my thoughts. I think the team right now is kind of and they are going to get better, but it may take a while. That's the most candid, blunt answer I can give you without making anybody cry, I guess. I don't know. Hey, Lawler, love the Sunday videos, man. Hey, appreciate it, man. Appreciate you guys all submitting questions down below in the comments. Allows me to keep doing these every single Sunday, and I'll keep doing them as long as you guys keep submitting questions. It says, how does one pursue a career in esports casting or analysis? How do you even dabble in an entry-level position? Does sports psychology play any part or do any good at all towards the career path? I think everybody's circumstance is a little bit different. For most people I know in esports, it actually, we all kind of shared the same story of like, I was doing this thing that it was a hobby and I loved it, and all of a sudden I got this random circumstance that gave me an opportunity. And then I ran with it, you know? Esports seems to be kind of a little bit of who you know, but also just being a genuinely good person and working hard and being ambitious and driven. If you haven't already started casting, if you haven't already started doing analysis on your own time, whether you be uploading it to YouTube, on your own Twitch channel, on whatever platform you decide to use, Twitch is probably the worst for discoverability, but if you're not already trying to build a platform with the stuff that you know, or trying to build a reputation through coaching programs or whatever, you're already putting yourself at a disadvantage. There is no easy path into it. It's just something that you have to work hard for and do honestly because you love it, and then hopefully it ends up paying off. I say this a lot and people sometimes take it out of context, but some people ask me like, yo, can I make it in esports, blah blah blah, should I get into esports? And I say, no, you'll never make it. And that's all they hear, and that's enough to defer them. The issue is if me or anybody else saying, hey, you're not good enough, you're not going to make it, is enough to stop you from trying, then you don't have the drive, the ambition, the willpower to actually make it. This career is very, very rough at times, and it takes pretty thick skin to get through it. And there's going to be a lot of people that tell you no along the way, or you're not good enough and stuff. And there's going to be a lot of checks and balances and trials and tribulations to get to the point where you can be successful. And there's also a strong possibility that that also may never happen. That's the hard reality of it. So ultimately, the best thing to do is go out and do it. Go cast, go do analysis, go do breakdowns, go make content, YouTube stuff, whatever you got to do, just so you can get those reps and experience in it, because there's nothing better than actually getting experience at it. It's the number one way to learn. It's the number one way to improve, is by just putting in the time. Kind of similar, ironically enough, to playing Rocket League. Doesn't translate from anything else. You just got to put in the time and effort. Sports psychology, coaching, any of that kind of stuff doesn't hurt. Outside experiences kind of always carry over. It's just a matter of how you use those experiences to benefit yourself or to better yourself in the field. And that's different for everybody's own experiences. Up next, coming from Kyle, says, what happened to Rocket League Sideswipe? Did I miss something, or has Psyonix just been very secretive about it? They talked originally that there was supposed to be a release sometime fall, winter of 2021, which is now. That's the last I've heard. I haven't seen any real conversations about it. The Apple versus Epic lawsuits does mentions of it, which I talked about in another video. But like, I haven't really heard or seen any whisperings about it. Again, different team, bunch of developers working on a project. They haven't really teased anything. Just know that I'm sure it's being worked on and it'll come out when they can. But they, last time I checked, mentioned sometime around now, if I'm being completely honest. If I do a Google search, they said on March 24th in the news post, the developers have announced the new game and the release end of 2021, maybe for Christmas. Maybe Psyonix's Christmas present to us is a game we can spend while we poop. Maybe it's going to be our new poop game. Sitting on the toilet, playing some Sideswipe. I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. Sometime by the end of 2021, we still got, a couple months. We'll figure it out. Next question comes from Kevin, and he says, what do you think of major final maps that are sponsored, like a Ford Field? One, Psyonix can make a ton of money off of that. And two, it depends, because the orange versus blue aesthetic has been something that's been in the community for a long time. It also is an easy indicator for when you are a casual viewer to sit down and watch and be like, oh, okay, that's that team, that's that team. Pretty straightforward. Changing that aesthetic might be a little bit confusing. And if you give an all home team some sort of advantage like that, or you have home and away stadiums, which I think would be really cool, or just like each team gets their own home stadium, I think you could do some really cool things. I would love to see that Psyonix makes maps based on where the land locations are. So like for the World Championship, they have a map that it's modeled based upon the area where it's located. So we have like for the next major, a Stockholm, Sweden map and stuff like that. I think that kind of stuff would be really cool. How possible it is, I don't know whether they're going to do it or not. I think they can still do a bunch of branding internally in the game where their billboards and stuff showcase new updates, new things coming out, which they've been doing a lot better with. But yeah, I think it's something that they can definitely position, especially with the new engine and all the stuff that they're working on. It's going to be a lot easier than what it ever was. So maybe in the future, but I'm for it. I think it'd be sick. Last question comes from Johnny Heaton. Says, hey, Lawler, I was just curious about why you're not a fan of Double Limit. You, sir, opening up a can of worms. All right. I've talked about this on stream. I don't know if I've ever done a video about it, but I personally do not like Double Elim. Although I think it's a good enough format and it gives everybody the same amount of chances, I personally feel there is a problem with the fact that a team from lower bracket has consistently shown that they get an advantage despite being the losing team. You look at season 1, and it was iBuyPower Cosmic who made a clear run through the uppers. Season 2 was a lower bracket win from Flipside Tactics. Season 3 was a lower bracket win from Northern Gaming. Season 4 was upper bracket clean through Gale Force. Season 5, lower bracket from Dignitas. Season 6, lower bracket from Cloud9. And then we went away from it. But I think you get my point. The issue is if I am a team that is supposed to have an advantage, why is it the team on the lower bracket, when the game is so momentum based and so advantageous to play extra matches and reps? And yes, there's no guarantee of a team, but like, when's the last time we saw a lower bracket team win after immediately dropping from the upper bracket? It's not, to me, a good thing. I think double elimination should be used one way, and it is in groups. You should use double elimination to make sure everybody has a fair chance and the ability to put up their best foot, or put their best foot forward, and then progress and weed out some of the teams. So if we have 16, use double elimination groups to bring it down to 8, and then do an 8 single elimination bracket. There's so many people tied to that this one tournament is the biggest thing ever, blah, blah, blah. But in a circuit-based system, there's so many different events that we're just trying to get through these because there's so many points. Why do we have to put so much emphasis on this one tournament? I know it means a lot. I know it's a big deal. But the mentality is, hey, man, you know what? We didn't do well in this one. Let's make sure we grind really hard and do better in the next one. Because as long as we're consistent, as long as we perform towards the top, 2 out of 3 tournaments, then we'll be okay. But for some reason, people are like, every team needs an extra life and an extra chance and this and that and blah, blah. I can't stand it. And the biggest reason for it is when I go into the grand finals of a world championship, you're telling me this team has been sitting cold for 2-3 hours, while this team has played some of the best teams and is building momentum with every single showcase, and then the bracket reset situation happens. Not only does it make for stupid long broadcasts, and it completely kills viewer churn, and it makes everybody just tired and bored, and the casters are exhausted. Why not do what E-League did? Why not do what some of the best tournaments have ever done, where you have groups that weed out, you still get a bunch of really fun competition, you still see the best teams progress, and then on the final day, you get like the 2 semifinals and the grand finals. Nobody's burnt out. Everybody's excited. Everybody comes in with the same advantage. The same teams in that final bracket have yet to lose. They come in at equal footing. May the best team win. When you saw that situation in the previous World Championships, you got one team coming through a bracket that has yet to lose, and another team coming through a bracket that has yet to lose, and they're on equal footing. Best team win. Good luck. Not, this team's warmed up. They've been feeling it. They've played 28 matches. This team's been sitting cold for 2-3 hours. Yeah, they've got to do 2 best-of-7s, but like, I think they're vibing. Keep it going. Doesn't matter. And I think the fact that out of our 6 championships that we did with it, 2/3 of them were from the lower bracket, to me is a clear sign as to why double elimination is not good. Use it to eliminate teams. Use it to weed out seedings and all that kind of stuff. But it should not be the final bracket. I hate it for the final bracket. The only good thing, in my opinion, for double elimination, groups to eliminate teams, and it's super easy for Papegas to understand. That is it. I hope I will never have to speak on that topic again. I hate double elimination. I hope you guys understand why. And you may have a different opinion, and that's totally fine. Let me know about your opinions down in the comments below. Let me know how you guys feel. And if you guys would like me to answer any other questions, whether it be some of the same ones, as some of these tend to be repeats every once in a while, or if you'd like me to elaborate more, or if you got one that's completely out of left field, whether it be Rocket League related or not. But while you're down there, if you enjoy the content, make sure you guys go give me a social follow on all of those, as well as a thumbs up on the video if you enjoy it, and make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.